So I'm joined by Joe Breslin, the Longford minor football manager. Joe, you've had a roller coaster year. It started with a fantastic draw here in Pearse Park against Kildare in the Leinster Championship. You've had a few really tight games, a couple of heartbreaking defeats, and at the end of it all, you're in an All-Ireland final. That must be a tremendous feeling.
It is. I suppose getting off to a decent start, I guess, against Kildare, we would probably have felt we had the win of that game. And then somehow, I suppose, we just didn't perform in the Westmeath game. There were a few things we can look back on and see that maybe went wrong for us. The Meath game, we really felt we had the winning off, and just a couple of little things, refereeing decisions, a little bit of bad luck. We were running them down at the end, and we actually expected that would be how it would pan out, and it was just very disappointing not to get over that line, and the lads were really devastated for a while.
But in spite of that bad luck and that devastation, we call it, after that game, they've gone back to the drawing boards. They've put in huge efforts. They've come through two really, really tough games against Carlow and Sligo, and they've reached an All-Ireland final. That must give you heart, and it has to give heart to Longford teams going forward, that we've got guys that have that sort of guts in them.
Absolutely. And like, the first thing the guys had to do was, like, they really set out to defend that Leinster title. We didn't put that in front of them. They brought that as a thing for themselves. They were really disappointed not to do that. And getting them to reset, I suppose, in actual fact, the conversation we had was around, well, first of all, taking one game at a time. I think it was Dylan Ledwith just really wanted to emphasise that after that Meath game. And then after that, then it was a case of, right, well, hang on here. Tier 3, who are we to sniff at that? And the other side of it was, we spoke to them a little bit about what that means. And I guess we were aware that there was 3, 4, 5 teams in tier 2 that we felt we were better than. And if you add them to the 12 teams in tier 3, well, winning in tier 3 is like winning Division 3. So we actually had the chat with them about how, right, for Longford to win tier 3 is actually, it would be the equivalent of our seniors getting a year in Sam Maguire. And what's wrong with Longford aiming to do that every 4 or 5 years? So look, the seniors are doing everything they can to step things up, but we sort of wanted to plant it in the young fellas' heads that we absolutely should be winning this competition. And look, I'm not going to tell you, up in Fermanagh that first day, really it was hard for the lads to love their football again. The disappointment was still there, but I think the way that they shook themselves down in the second half against Carlow, the way that they shook themselves down in Annaduff last weekend, and the huge thing with them, we feel, is that no team has outdone us for fitness. And I mean, I pay massive tribute to, the Satanta program has been huge for us. The academy, the work that's doing, that's exactly where Longford need to be. So you put last year together with this year, and even, look, we don't know what will happen on Saturday, but you put last year together with this year, and us going about things the right way, that's all we can contribute up the chain to the seniors. And the lads, it's great just how they've embraced it, and they're so looking forward to Saturday, as are we. And we're going to be playing a good team. They've got fighting spirit as well. We've seen some of that stuff, and one thing I'll say about Wicklow, I've observed they never stop playing. And so for us to win that game is going to mean that we have to play 60 minutes of our best football.
That work on the pitch, that work off the pitch, the fitness, the determination, the never say die attitude, that has now led to a final against Wicklow, as you say, on Saturday. Longford's first minor All-Ireland final at any level since 1929. I'm sure you've got a message for the Longford supporters and the people that you want to see going to Tullamore on Saturday.
Absolutely. We put a message out in smaller groups in the past couple of weeks. This team, we've seen, this team loves support. This team responds really well to support. But I'd give a bigger message, maybe on the bigger scale, would actually be, we've really emphasised the message to the lads to love the Longford jersey. Like, love that royal blue jersey and that crest, and make it yours, and make the team yours. And I'd say that to all our supporters and everybody throughout County Longford. This is your team, and they love representing you. And there's so many good characteristics about them to love in that team. So absolutely get behind us, and we'd love to have a good crowd down in O'Connor Park on Saturday at 12:30. So please come.
Yeah. Best of luck on Saturday, Joe.
Thanks, Colin.
Thank you.
Cheers.